Where pa?
Okay.
Ebi kwa juma bi nya bibi ba fi ebi kwa juma bi menya hwe. Yeah, nya bibi ba fi no de.
Say.
Okay.
Eno che say.
Eno che say ebi mu kwa juma no. Omo ye juma o bi so ma se ye kwa juma. Obi so ko so me de 1 city ba fi. Obi so me de 3 city ba fi. Yeah, you never be okay.
Sometimes I want for 1 city and coffee.
Oh, wow. So, would was 0 day.
Oh, I'm sometimes 1 city had to be coffee. For empty hand coffee.
My master teacher, one is 0. Sometimes being said, when
you want some, who's our boy? When you name some. Let me say no grab it to my bedroom. When you want some crack. World champions. Crystal Palace going to be a channel. When you go cast an interview, and only my son was a maker, and more on yet. Because Saturday now, Brana don't sabu bow with some sea, and say, any of my yay. So relax, eh? Obiano Unku, Adiero, a man. First one, what is it? Found to pass yet any on grass yet to pass. Don't worry, but only. More voice be born me answer. And the more they can both voice now when I start. My man, the more you 2 months is here and a nice voice by insect. Born me now. And you understand?
Richardo. Okay. There's a voice near Richardo today. But only in fast start.
I didn't know.
What's your one?
Oh, you see me.
You say, oh, your computer. I don't know the spelling.
Anna, okay, with my mintia.
Who did you was much I want to buy it?
My mintia.
It's now dominant.
You ever show me one?
Hey,
Mimi, hey,
I'm guessing.
Eh, Miss C. Or short, Mimi, see, I show me one. And you better some. Don't you bet? I'll ask them now, make a one. Let's see. What do you say? Yami had more china. You won't give me a best answer. 3-1. What are you short?
Was as you
no Tim Nasso coffee. Anymore.
You know, show.
Oh, I'm going on to baby. Benjamin says good super. But that's good or goose. And see, the front three need to be about goose. I was there in a game, no. Obia man 1-1-1-1. Yenya 3. Do you know good pass out the ball? You know it.
Oh, I do.
I'd bet you shouldn't.
I bet you. Bruno,
why any travel?
Bruno there. Singer. Bruno there, good.
Say productions are no more. Which we come in the moon to be there.
Obia and Gaza will show me 3-1. What else will show me 3-1?
This is an your production.
There is so was. Nasi Abajora, I know money as Namas Nasco, they say.
When
Hey, but it's on a more serious note, and now my performance was not bad. I think it was a good performance.
Excellent performance, no good.
Hey, Richardo. Any excellent? How can it be an excellent performance when you don't win? It's good. It's an improvement of what you've done before, but it's not excellent. You have to watch here. And no performance, me, I'm the first person to say it. It was a good performance, and I said it from there, from how I must set it up. In fact, the game was too controversial. I think Cesar Bowie and Nissan can stand there as a goal. I don't agree with anybody who says that there was no foul here. Bowie, there a foul on Macy Mount, even before Bayenda. Who said Kofu Bebre Esha Adiena? They will focus so much on William Saliba on Bayenda. But the focus also should be on Abrante Feni Macy Mount. He's literally being shrugged out. So for me, Arsenal go no. It wasn't a goal. But me catch you. Which Arsenal in the last 2 years, no big 6 team has beaten them. Whether home or away. And you're a draw. So Arsenal, they are good at playing these games, whether they play well, they don't play well, opening of the season, middle of the season, constantly. I had high beliefs in Arsenal for Nbeye Jumano away at Old Trafford. The bigger problem was how Manchester United were good. Which one an opinion? My reading article will be from some Manchester United pro people, and they are saying something there. Sometimes when you lose a game, unya BB more than 3 points. And it is something that they call belief. Abia and na ejina say no. Belief enye idea air quantifiable. Unti found some sum. Inti overdoing so it is nothing. But in the context of football and confidence and growth, a very, very important thing for Manchester United. I think Sandram's performance it stirred up a lot of belief, and even Manchester United fans and the players were good. Which more transitions were super. I like Brian Mbeumo in those runs. Matthias Cunha ball kind was very, very good also as well. The only thing I didn't like is this annotation. Which no munya ball ni biya box ni moi. Only say before Arsenal go ni bebano. Muna mu dominating possession. Muna mu ball until Arsenal scored from the set play. But almost every time, Munya Boniko could do Arsenal for an 80-yard box. It was as if Ruben Amorim's game plan was much more defensive than attacking. This is minute 30. Munya Bono in the final third, in the box, Diogo Dalot and Kita Bono. In the box, Ankasa. There are only 2 Manchester United players in the box. Just 2. Whilst Arsenal have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Literally, Arsenal almost every point in time in the box. Yes, you had good transitions. Yes, you could turn over possession. But in the box, in the opponent area, Manchester United were not committing men. And for me, I don't know if that was essentially the game plan of it. This is another opportunity again. Diogo Dalot corner. Another in the 26th minute, when Manchester United had a chance in the box. Again, literally not committing men forward. You don't score in football at the highest level like that. No matter how good we Brian Mbeumo, Matthias Cunha, they score because consistently for their teams last season, only high quality chances in and around the box. And now she chance about Cunha or no. She chance about Mbeumo. They are not clear cut chances to score goals.
That is why I don't know. You see, coaching sometimes I'm in person better than I judge coaches. Yeah. Because what goes into their decision, yeah. And yes, sir, Benjamin Sesko.
Yeah.
I'm not born. Look, you're number 9 presence. That has always been a problem
from the start.
From the start.
But even without you, we were good.
We are good. To say the now canon.
Yeah.
A banner say transit here.
Yeah.
Swift.
Yeah.
But you do 8 years about cinema. As now for the baby.
I'm
1 or 2.
A banner more transit here.
Yeah.
But
very, very swift. A quantum 1, 2, 3. I could feel me a proud Manchester United supporter.
You played well. It's just that, Rich.
Yeah, bobo, papa.
Yeah, and no more bobo. But like I said, out of the 3 points, maybe I'm moving your belief out of it. If you can replicate this performance again,
sure.
Because it's easy to play this kind of football in your home crowd in a big game where new players want to show what they want to do, but it's about consistency. So Manchester United makes him replicate this way, another one again in the course of the season. It's good. For me, constantly, my biggest problem was this, and I'm pointing out to you. Please look at this in minute 5. Before Arsenal, for me, they can show me going. Brian Mbeumo in the box, alone. Share the closest Manchester United player to him, Bruno Fernandes. No, Diogo Dalot. Almost about 10 or 20 meters away from of Brian Mbeumo.
So,
that is the only issue. Ruben Amorim set up and say, oh boy, it's going backs. Sometimes commit the men forward and then go in there and go and play. But apart from that, Munya very, very good very good 3 points. Munya 0 points, but a good performances over there. Now, I think games need to start on Saturday, where Man City won, Liverpool on Friday. We spoke about it. Which did you see Tijani Reinders? Remember, you can't Tijani once and once.
Me her born is this was the boy and Kofi can once.
Which
so my main pet time pana. Me family me go nation me horn on kwa. Akwani Bobo.
I said,
on pass no the man hala say.
Whether or bo as a 6, whether or bo as an 8. Whether or bo as whatever of the position that Tijani Reinders has to play up top.
He hit my happen.
Yeah, super, like complete box to box. And me can say Uko Italian Serie A anymore. Me, the very first time I saw Tijani was with the Dutch national team at the last Euros, and then the ball into the Mami Kodi Tijani Any Dino. I mean, someone was how is somebody from Netherlands called Tijani? Until I read about how Ane Papa then to Tijani Babangida, and then from these days at Ajax Amsterdam. Right, he was brilliant. He was brilliant on the day, and Man City got off to a flying start on the day away at Wolverhampton Wanderers. I thought Sankabedia Manchester City, but it was not difficult for them. The subsequent game had to go on Sunday, and we waited for the early kickoff. Chelsea, FIIFI, Argentina, Crystal Palace, but also on Saturday, Rich Mohamed Kudus again. Did you see the difference in the Mohamed Kudus here anymore? Who said, as a Thomas Frank has given him a specific rule of not to do too much. Say, original touchline one, because according to Opta analyst, Mohamed Kudus created 5 chances in the game and among 2 assists. And it is the very first time at OS in the Premier League game. And I think that is excellent profiling for my brand here, your friend Thomas Frank, and Kudus executed it very, very well in the game. So kudos to him. Right on Sunday to the Chelsea game. The biggest problem was how were Chelsea going to play the match without 2 of them high volume passes? No, who's the Chelsea team number? Levi Cole, any tossing at the are literally the best, and my check several times. Be back 3 FIIFI a pass the ball. So how were Chelsea going to play without them? Because on the Saturday night, near 10 is a tossing at the also any injury. And it's going to be precautionary and not long term there. But he will sit out against the game against Crystal Palace now, and then Chelsea will go on and go and see how the game goes. It meant that all of the focus fell on Abrantia, your friend Joshua Kofi, a champion, to play as CCB. And this is exactly how Chelsea set up on the board. This is the game against Leverkusen. Joshua Champion as a CCB, Tosin Adrabiayo as the LCB, your friend is saying Trevor Chaloba as the LCB, rather in the middle of the park to try and dictate the pace of the game. Which I think it was probably the most difficult game at Chelsea have in well over 2 months since Club World Cup. Minyasho said Chelsea won a much more difficult game that they played yesterday against Crystal Palace. Before I go on, anybody who analyze the Chelsea Crystal Palace game will be failing to give credit to Oliver Glasner, then they are making a huge mistake. Or maybe they've not watched Oliver Glasner. I think that Oliver Glasner set up has been well underrated, and he deserves a lot of the credits that he has to get. Just like Andoni Areola. Rich, he came into the game with a regular 3-back here, with Richard, Lacroix, and Mark Gay. Lacroix as the CCB, Mark Gay as the left centre back, then Michael Richards as the right centre back. Then with 2 fullbacks, Tariq Mitchell and your brand here on the other side over there. Malang Ismail Sarr, Papa Mateta and your brand as a top 3, then Adam Watson and Houghton in there. Which means it is not just the setup. 3-back in perform a brave 3-back. Who teams, almost every team in the English Premier League these days or person of ball, control ball, will play in a 3-back. But what makes it difficult is this. Say, who's showing a tactical ball and you're looking at this annotation? Who say Trevor Chalobani, Joshua Champoni, then on the right hand side was Rhys James. But look at the Crystal Palace players now. Jean-Philippe Mateta has come centrally and is blocking the passing lane to Moises Caicedo. Then the 2 other attackers now, any Ismail Sano, they've also come very narrow. So the first thing we learned from the game is Abrantia friend Oliver Glasner wanted to be as compact as possible. It's park in FIIFI. For players be bring say they Chelsea be most important players. It's you can't even find Abrantia your friend Kopama in between the lines. You just cannot find them. Constantly, every time, Crystal Palace have blocked the passing lane, and it was very, very difficult for Chelsea to find it. Now, Rich, look at something. Say, out of possession, power ball, man. No football game will be boring for you. Look at this one. Anytime we are Obibe moving out of the block, look at Marco Kukurea. Kukurea be moving out of the block. Richards the nature. So that's the thing. In 3-backs, who bought 3-back now? It's about regular 3-back. But there's a certain level of pseudo security be a Taiwo teams on about 3-back stream say me boy in a 3-back can be placed in the way the doors. Intimate defend it. But Crystal Palace and Oliver Glasner don't do that. What they do is that once they are playing the 3-back, they exert pressure. And that's the second thing. Compactness. The second thing is about the exertion of pressure from Crystal Palace. Every time somebody will move out of the Chelsea block to come and receive outside, nobody in the chi. And essentially, they had blocked almost every passing lane from team and friend the Chelsea Football Club. Rich, in this instance, this was the only time our branch friend Joshua Kofi, a champion, tried to play forward. You see, it was something I know person. He's a young player, but immediately he tried to play forward one as a J ball. From then, he decided to just carry the ball instead of passing the ball forward. And I think, sir, on the ball, off the ball, he was very good. Or going to 7 duels, or we need 5. But again, or making sure, say, in terms of on the ball, it was long. Chelsea for tries to call long into the part of Pedro Neto. Anytime they did, it was 2v1 in wide areas. It was too difficult. Centrally, Crystal Palace were top notch. And also because the Chelsea did not have the needed players, I'll break it down Crystal Palace for one block. It made it very, very difficult for them to play. Now, what do you mean Crystal Palace for anytime Chelsea had the ball? Look at Muniz. Or jumping Marco Crea in the left hand side. Very, very interesting setup. Now look at this. Marco Kopama, a movie to come and take the ball on the blind side. Adam Watson in the chi. Rich. The ball goes back to Abranti Efreno. James. Then you see some Magay ever jumping out very soon. Look at Magay right now jumping out on Abranti Efreno Moses Caicedo. And almost every time the block is there, but then Crystal Palace will jump out. I also think that Rich. There were good openings for Chelsea to score a goal. In the second half, we will say Enzo Maresca as Sanyoma. If Joshua Champion will take some time to grow into the CCB role now, I dare Enzo Maresca bit smile and say, so yeah, the year with Moses Caicedo in the second half. No? Or you see Caicedo as a half back, part of the centre back, no, but a midfielder. It's Caicedo Babaji ball, then he plays it forward into the part of Marco Crea. And the match Chelsea, it created some quality chances over there. But again, it was not the best game. The chances were there.
Brony say too young, but that's a Uche.
Medjuma say it's a boy in a go and an go.
Yeah, Claire go. Claire go.
But the own got to
Claire go.
Now, explanation about for the balance.
My kind is
my kind for say, Mammy just meet me teaching.
My kind
is almost say, yeah, war. Opponent defender ain't mean but within 1 meter or more of the wall.
Okay.
And in Magay trying to push Abranche friend Caicedo out of this position, about 1 meter of the wall. It's according to them, affect. Say, Nasi your ball.
Who could she be near me?
Now, one baby, I'm Moda.
Why?
Moda.
And no encahe.
La Liga referees, any English Premier League referees.
Every jam blue or blast Muntini. I go Muntino. Say, I could from body as season and near Monco you. Oh, they say world class and winning to baby and you would give you. What they say a friend of every jam blue or stars. Who and Chichimu at the man of penny now. Uba Saturday next and Kawaka.
Now the Saturday,
I know you difficulty now. Why not? Premier League, one else or two.
Now the Saturday,
when you go solid free, you didn't best call Maza.
They have to say, they be all up at the last lap. We need problem, but with the mouth. But Obia, you say, Ukoi, one fashion, I'm making, not to say, but say, Spanish La Liga referees, the English Premier League referees, if only here, Jumapa. You see the Barca game. I don't have a problem with the first goal of Barca for share. Your friend is saying first goal, no. Lamine Yamal, Bono or Bob to Rafinha, Bosheno. I don't have a problem with that. But Rich, Ferran Torres, Bono, Sheno. Even a Ukraine have a problem with it. I see it afflicts a big problem with it. You see, even if it was him and Kobe Furious, because player that former Asoniti, but still the ball went on. I think there's a referee. There's so much money. Yeah, but twice.
Okay, Abidjan Blue All Stars.